In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Because that would take 2 seconds to re-record. It would. And insert back into that.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight. Sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Kraus. But before we begin,
yes,
you guys could please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. It really does help grow this channel. And without you guys, we could not do it.
Of course not. Yeah, pump up those numbers. Get us on that top 10 trending.
Yes, let's
We've
do
never
it.
been. I think we're due.
And Cash, we are getting so much closer to 10,000 subscribers.
I know. 10K, baby.
10K.
Hopefully by the end of August, by the end of the summer.
Hopefully, and I'm hoping this is the video to propel us to that 10,000 mark.
It very, very possibly could be.
And it's not due to us, but
No.
due to the power of Fahadh Faasil.
Well, we're just riding off the coattails.
We are
old
of this-
Fahadh Faasil. He's going to take us straight to the mountaintop,
Yes,
baby.
he will. He will take us. And we had a few people comment our joke where we said we should just call it the Fahadh Faasil podcast.
People love that.
They loved it. And they go, call it the Fa reaction trailer.
Fa-Fas.
Yeah,
Do they
I was
call
like,
them
that's
Fa?
funny. I don't know, but it was Fa, and I thought that was pretty funny. But
We could have
nonetheless,
Fa Fridays.
with Fa Fridays. Well, that is what we will call this special edition because
Yes,
it will
absolutely.
release Friday.
This is our one and maybe only Fa Friday
It is.
special edition. This is
It's
coming
like
out
the
on
BMF belt. You only do it once, right?
Yeah, for the people that know what that is.
Whatever. They don't know.
For the small portion.
It's a one and done.
Anyways, yes, this is Fahadh Faasil Friday.
is
Or our
Fahadh
foreign
Faasil
film Friday. We are doing an Indian film.
Yes, we are.
On our foreign film Friday. Kind of takes us back to where we used to.
To our roots.
Yeah.
Right?
To our old stomping grounds.
Our old Foreign Film Friday stomping grounds.
Yeah.
And more specifically, this is a Malayalam film.
Well, it's Fahadh
Fahadh
Faasil.
Faasil.
Come on, the
on.
guy knows where quality film is made. It's southern India, and that's where all the highest quality films are made, of course.
Absolutely.
And that's where all the fucking Macbeth adaptions are taking place.
And they're pretty good adaptions. I gotta be honest.
This is the third Macbeth adaptation from India,
Yep.
and I think the second one we've done.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the second one we've done, but of course it's called Joji,
Joji.
and it's lightly based on Macbeth.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of murder and a lot of doubling down, which is what mostly Macbeth is murdering one guy, and then to not get caught, now you got to
murder
two
someone
guys.
else.
Now people are looking for that second guy. Now you got to murder the guy looking for them. It's a never-ending process of murder. That's what Macbeth is, and that's what Joji is too, I would say.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they love Macbeth in India.
Yeah. They love Shakespeare.
They do, which everyone loves Shakespeare. Yes.
I guess.
I think he's a bum, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
Never enjoyed, but yeah, Macbeth is definitely one of my more favorite of the Shakespeare. I don't know it well, but it's one of the better ones because it does have a lot of murder in it.
It does.
And witches. No witches in Joji,
No
but
witches.
there's witches in Macbeth,
There is.
unfortunately. But yeah, Joji, it is a new, relatively new film
It is,
from Amazon.
Yeah, it just released April 7th, so less than a month ago. And this was one of the most highly requested films for us to review.
Yeah.
We did a poll on our community page. We said, are we going to review I Rule or Joji? Because of
I
course,
still want to do I Roll.
I know. But because of course, they both star Fahadh Faasil, and this is the Fahadh Faasil podcast. So, but in all seriousness, we put up a poll. It's got over 1,000 votes. 86% of the people said, please review Joji.
Yeah, I don't know. Is I Roll just not that good?
Not as good. I don't know. A lot of people were commenting, though, and they just said this one was better.
Yeah, to be fair, it hasn't even been out that long.
No, it
and that time of the poll, I don't know if it's been out even a week.
No.
So I'm not sure if even those people. But yeah, I was looking up because I was trying to find. I forgot if this was on Amazon or Netflix, Joji. So I looked up it on Netflix first. And when you type in Joji, the first thing that popped up is I Rule.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which I was tempted to fucking watch because it just looks good. I remember that trailer.
Well, at this rate, we might do it next week.
Very possible. But no, we are doing Joji today. And like we said, streaming on Amazon Prime Video, directed by Dileesh Pothan.
Yes,
Pothan. And I'm almost positive we've seen that name before.
Oh, well, yes, we have. He has directed some pretty famous films with Fahadh Faasil himself.
I know he's worked multiple times. I think he's worked with them two other times in particular.
And remember the trailer that we just reacted to thanks to the individual who did the subtitles for us, which was called Thumbamuthalam Drixokshiam.
Very long. I know the last two films that they've done together have very long titles. Thank God he tightened that up for Joji.
Yeah, thank God. Joji is short, simple, to the point.
Sweet. It's easy.
We can actually digest it.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think we should just get into it. Let's talk about the plot a little bit. If you don't know about Macbeth,
enlighten us.
Yeah, let me go through the entire thing. There is in every Macbeth, every one that's ever made, every new ideation of Macbeth, it's always the classic story. There's a very rich king sometimes. He's always this rich ruler of the land in any Macbeth adaptation. In this one, it is
Kadupan, the father, 74
AKA
years old.
Jacked Grandpa. This guy is fucking...
Tremendous shape.
Oh my God.
Would have never suspected a stroke
when
in
it
my
first
life.
shows him and he's doing those pull-ups on, not the pull-up bar, but he's got the rings.
Yeah.
He's got the Olympic rings. That guy is fucking big. And it's not like muscle bodybuilder break. It's like 1950s bodybuilder where you're like, is that guy either out of shape or is he just insanely strong?
Yeah.
And it's the latter in this case. This guy is fucking jacked.
Well, I mean, you had some young individuals at the pond, right? And they can't even yank up this drainage pipe.
So weak. Get old grandpa down there.
74 years old. He got step aside.
My grandpa would have done the same thing and similar thing. Died.
I mean, it's a lot of exertion.
They just don't know better.
The heart can't handle it.
I mean, he had COVID.
That's true. He had COVID. What a tough bastard.
I know.
God.
Oh, because remember the whole thing is he was in isolation.
That's right. Yeah, because he did have the old Rona.
He did have the old Rona. Yeah, that's the thing about this film. Very odd seeing modern films that
deal with COVID.
Or
not deal with it, but at least have it in the
films. In the story,
yes.
yeah. It makes it feel like it happened like 30 years ago, even though we're still dealing with especially India, unfortunately, is getting hit very hard right now. Yeah, which is... But yeah, so they all live in this area of in the mountains.
Kerala.
Where that's being hit very hard by COVID or whatever. And again, you have the jacked grandpa, who's everyone is scared of.
Oh, terrified of, and rightfully so. This guy's a little intimidating.
Oh my God, they're living in like I said, they're living in constant fear of this guy. Yeah. Everyone is walking on eggshells around him, and he's got 3 sons.
Yep.
Joji's the mutt.
And the youngest, yeah.
Yeah, he's the worst of all of them.
Yes, he is.
And then you have
Jamon.
Yes, and...
Which is the old brother and kind of the brute head. And Jason, yes.
Is that? Yeah, Jason.
And ironically enough, the actor who plays Jason, his name is Joji.
He must have been pissed not getting that lead role.
Yeah, he's like, what, you're giving this to
Fahadh Faasil?
I was to play Joji. Yeah.
Which is so weird because I wonder, like, it must be a pretty common name.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I wonder if they're just sitting around, like, the reading table and being like, you know what? I like that name. We're going to give your name to this guy. But it's my real name. I don't know.
Like, I don't know why
it's
you're doing this to
disrespectful.
me.
It's my real name. I don't know why you do it. I said, no, I like that name. But yeah, that's kind of... But anyway, so they're all living... Oh, and what's other... So... Jason? Is that really how they pronounce it?
Well, it might be pronounced a little differently because it's Jaison, but I'm assuming it is still pronounced Jason, maybe Jason.
Yeah, I think Jason was kind of with, but that Jason is the he's the big brother, and he's like the second in command. But and he's huge also. He's great in this. But he's also
Jamon is the alcoholic though.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of then.
Yeah, Jamon.
He's the second in command. Yeah, he's also. I mean, he's fucking huge too. But he's also deathly afraid of their father.
Yes, everyone is scared of the father.
Even though this guy is fucking big. And the father, he owns this big plantation, right? This huge land. He owns multiple businesses. He's a pretty powerful man. He owns businesses in town, too. And all three of his sons run these. Jamon runs the plantation. Jason runs the business in town. And Joji does nothing.
No,
his job is to pretty much not be a big fuck up, and he's not doing.
Well,
a great
remember,
job.
he was an engineering dropout.
Engineering dropout. Now he's like selling horses or some shit.
Yeah,
and it's not working. It's not doing well.
No.
He's got a horse just pinned up out there. It's not selling. It's not getting eyes. No one's seeing it up there in the middle of nowhere.
But hey, he's trying like hell to sell that horse. It was a beautiful horse, in all fairness. It was a beautiful white horse.
Absolutely. I don't know what you do with it. I don't know if it's a racing horse or it's a plowing horse.
Yeah. Or it's just a beauty horse. I don't know.
It's a show horse, perhaps. I don't understand. It's an odd business to be in.
It is.
Sure. But he's
still an entrepreneur at heart.
He is, and he's done a bunch of things that have all failed.
Yeah.
It's the kind of sense you get.
Yeah, he's a failure. And his father constantly reminds him of that?
Reminds him and is very abusive.
Super
physically
abusive.
To everyone, we get the sense, but he's abusive to Joji, Fahadh Faasil. We get that scene. It's a good scene when he comes in his room talking about if he stole money. He just puts one hand down on his chest.
He just holds him there and he can't breathe or move. Yeah. Could you imagine having a father like that where you're just constantly in fear of?
Well, I wouldn't live with them at the age of 40.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, I would have to get out of there at some point. And it's funny, though. Fahadh Faasil is so good at playing just these little shits, These guys who start off so weak and then kind of progress and become stronger and stronger.
Well, and they use that weakness as a cover for their actual strength and maliciousness and like their cunning.
Yeah. And you knew right off the bat what kind of person he is when he gets mad and he's just like he starts like shadow boxing and he's like throwing things, but he doesn't want to make any sound because he's still scared of his dad. Because he doesn't want his dad coming in there and beating him. But again, he's the weakest one.
Yeah, he is.
He's the runt of the litter for sure, and they all kind of shit on him. And then, but he's not a good guy either. He's not a hero in any sense of the word.
No.
He picks on anyone that's smaller than him. We get that sense that he picks on Poppy as well. When he finds him with the air
what a little
pistol.
Rat too. Well,
I know.
And the only reason why he was being a rat is because initially the father came into his room we just talked about and said that he stole 8,000 rupees from his bank account. But then, I got to be honest, that was pretty smart by Joji. He goes, oh, that's an interesting pellet gun. He goes, oh, how much would something like that cost? And he goes, oh, 8,000 rupee. And he goes,
yeah.
And then that Poppy immediately knows he fucked up. And he's like, I mean, 4,000?
Seems like is that a really expensive pellet gun, or did he just not steal that much money?
I don't know. I don't know the currency.
I don't think 8,000 rupees is that. I think it may be 100.
Well, we better not.
Yeah, we
try
better
to
not.
Convert again. Because if you go to our Scam 1992 trailer reaction, those people lit us up.
But anyways, I don't think it was that much money. But I mean, a pellet gun can't be that expensive.
No, probably $100.
Yeah,
I guess in a
that's all.
American
Yeah,
money.
that's what it do. But but still, $100. You found out someone stole them. I guess you would still be pissed.
Hell yeah, especially when you're tight ass. And
yeah,
you know
and an
that
asshole.
is.
You're just looking for reasons to beat on someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they all live together. 3 brothers. Again, what's his name? Pinsy? What's the kid's name?
Poppy.
Poppy is the son of
Bincy and Jason.
Jason, yes. Jason is married to Bincy, who has a son. They all live together. And Jorman, or whatever his name is. Joman. He's divorced. I think we just briefly know that.
Yes, he is. And the father, we
he's an
find out that
alcoholic.
the father paid for the divorce too, which was pretty expensive.
Yeah.
And the severe alcoholic too.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the good stuff. His dad keeps
the good stuff.
Yeah.
And as soon as dad has a stroke, he's like, oh, hey, dad, I'm just going to get your liquor
I love that
cabinet."
scene, though, when that happens. Because like Macbeth, the king is always murdered, and then someone takes his place, which is Macbeth,
Right.
which is Joji in this case. So, but not directly murdered right off the bat. He gets wounded first because he pulls out the pipe when no one else can.
Yep.
He does all kinds of fucking destroys his body. I assume gets a stroke, and then he's paralyzed on the left side. It's whatever side he
initially
used.
he was paralyzed.
Yes.
Entirely. And then he's starting to regain his strength over time.
And it's like whatever side he used to beat everyone with, because Joji comes in and be like, at one point, oh, you can't hit me anymore with that hand. Mary's talking a bunch of shit. But yeah.
Well, yeah, because he picks up the hand when he's sleeping and drops it. And you just see the fiery stare of his father, like, I'm going to kill you, son.
Oh, yeah. But I love, to go back, I love the scene. It really just shows you the fear that dad instilled in everyone is when he's stroke. The doctor says, this guy's not coming back.
Nope.
He's fucked up. We shouldn't have brought him back home. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. They say he's basically brain dead.
I'm not a doctor. I know we shouldn't have carried him up those goddamn stairs. I don't think you're supposed to move a stroke patient that much.
I don't think so.
But anyways, they think he's gone. But even though they know he's about to be dead, is like, he's still deathly afraid. That scene when he goes to get the alcohol and he's just staring at it for a little bit.
Yep.
And he looks back at his dad like he's just going to hop up and miraculously recover and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then he looks like he goes, Dad, I'm taking alcohol. And then he looks back to make sure he does it. And then he finally takes it. But it just shows you how fucking scared he was. Yeah. Even as a vegetable, they were still fucking scared of that guy. But he does end up stealing the alcohol, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, and getting wasted. He's drunk.
Way too drunk.
He's drunk throughout
the whole film. Yeah.
But I have to say, he is, whoever plays...
Babu Raj plays Jaman.
He did a fucking fantastic job. He was great.
Great actor.
Besides Fahadh Faasil, I thought he stole the show. And the dad. The dad was great. The dad was great, too, especially early on. I mean... Later on, he doesn't have very many scenes or lines because he's playing a stroke victim.
Right.
But early on, you really got the fear and everything.
Well, even the scene between him and Joji when he's in the wheelchair and he grabs Joji's arm. Very
grabs
strong.
his neck.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then pulls him in, grabs his neck.
That
I'm like,
was probably my favorite scene. And the score of this movie was very well done.
It was well done, but it was subtle.
Not overdone.
Yeah,
not what we're
wasn't
used
over
to.
the top, and it was very just
simple strings, and it seemed like it was like an orchestra at times, or then it went very similar with like a single string instrument or something like that. But yeah, it was really, and I talk about it in this scene because it tenses up a lot the score when he pulls him in and grabs his throat, because. At that scene, the dad had a stroke and Joji's telling him, die already.
Well, I think it was
time
the
to let me.
realization for Joji, too, in that scene where it was like, I have to take matters into my own hands.
Yeah.
I have to kill this guy.
Absolutely.
Or kill my father.
Because Joji has a close relationship with
Bincy
and her son, kind of. Yeah.
Kind of Poppy.
Yeah, as much as you can with
also
still being a piece of shit. Yeah, exactly.
With also being an
and that was the kind of thing is you got to, I got to assume, that he was kind of just using her as like, because it comes up to play, but using her as like, oh, if I ever get caught, I have someone else to go down with me.
Well, and I totally agree with that too, because we see that in the scene where he looks into the mirror as he's given the medication to his father, and he sees Bincy.
Yeah,
and he freaks out, and then she walks away. He kind of follows to see how she's going to react to it, and she's just doing laundry like nothing ever happened. And that was for the character like, okay, now you're implicated in this as well.
Well, they kind of talked about it before. They kind of talked about how...
Yeah, they did. They set that up beforehand, too.
Because she knew the entire time, but she just didn't do anything.
Well, and it was set up well with Bincy, too, because you kind of realize that she was kind of the housemaid, kind of the... Like, she didn't have a say in anything in that family, and there's kind of like that...
And again,
powered
hated the dad.
Hated him. Yeah. Well, rightfully so.
Yeah, everyone.
She was treated
the only
like
thing
shit.
is, I wish we got a little more. I wish the story made us really hate that guy because he was an asshole. But you got to think all of his sons were pricks too.
Yeah, they were in their own ways.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all just waiting. I mean, I get that. Obviously, he must have been a bad guy for all of them to want him dead. But I wish they would have showed that a little more than just inferred it. Because really, the only sense we get is him putting his hand on Fahadh Faasil when he says he stole money.
Right.
But he stole money from him. So that's kind of a that's kind of the reaction you would expect. So I wish the story would have gave us a little more, just showed like how abusive he really is. Because the sense I kind of got was like, you know, he was a very strict father, but he was raising 3 pieces of shit when it came down to it. So I really wish we could have gotten to see. I mean, I don't doubt that he was, but I wish we got a little more of that show, not tell kind of thing. But you get the sense they hated him because they were, when he dies, or before he dies, they're spending all of his money.
All of it. And
they're buying they're buying drones, they're buying all kinds of shit. They're going, which is the thing about this is
more booze.
It is kind of a dark comedy. There's funny scenes for sure, but that's very Shakespeare. Shakespeare is a tragic comedy is what they're all supposed to be.
Yeah.
But there is some very dark, like black comedy moments in this, especially when they're arguing with like the priest. When they come in, remember they want to give him the last rites, and one brother he's drunk and he doesn't want him to give the last rites.
Nope.
And he keeps interrupting the guy, and the priest is getting so fucking pissed that he can't get through the words. But there's some funny scenes in
Well, the father was probably going to die. He seemed like he did not want that ceremony to continue with the priest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was just trying to help his father,
but
the father looked like he was going to kill someone when they were doing like the reading of the Bible and stuff.
It was funny because there's just so many people crammed in that fucking one.
I know. The guy's suffering from COVID.
I know. It's so brutal. And let's talk about the doctor for a little bit. The doctor who was a doctor / lawyer, he also did the will. What is happening here?
Dude, double majoring? That's pretty good.
That's a lot. He went to 30 years of school.
Oh, yeah. That's a well-educated man.
It reminded me of like the early 1800s when you have like the guy would be chief surgeon but also barber.
Right.
He's doing like multiple.
A man of many tasks.
Yeah, like this was so weird that this guy. Now you know this. The doctor was in on it. He wanted the guy to die as well because it must have been a family doctor or something. It
had to have been.
Very close. And I don't know if there's a character in Macbeth that's like this, but he was like. He's really deep in the family affairs for being just a doctor.
Yeah.
And he was even telling him, don't give him that surgery. You know, he may live a little longer.
Yeah, he's like, trust me, you don't want to do this. You're going to regret bringing your father.
Die. And he kind of tells him, too, to like get him to like sign the checks or whatever. Because remember, they tried to get him to sign the checks in the hospital the first day he's there.
Of course, they just want his money. But when he's capable, the first day, he signs it no problem.
But
that scares the hell out of all the kids.
But he knows it was that, to me, that scene was like, I know what you're fucking doing. He's like, but go ahead and do it anyways, because it's going to end up destroying all of you guys anyways. Yep. And it does.
I did. Yeah.
Really, there's only one brother left at the end. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
I don't want
spoiler alert, yeah.
But so there was definitely some dark comedy scenes for sure. But but the doctor was a little sketchy for me, for sure. The dad should have smelled that doctor. He's not helping him in any way. But yeah, that was a funny scene too. Is he's almost dying, and they give him the surgery, and they tell him there's like a 0% chance he's gonna make it, and he fucking miraculously
makes it.
But you knew from the first scene they set up, you knew if anyone was gonna survive, it'd be this 74-year-old jacked grandpa who got in the pit with those fucking guys. Right. You knew that guy was too fucking tough to die.
I thought the screenwriting was good too, because every little point made sense to me. The reason why they ended up doing the surgery is because they basically said, well, the public is all going to think that we want our father dead, so we just need to do it anyway. When they're talking in the hospital, and I love that.
And they end up knowing that they all want him dead anyways when the funeral happens, and they're flying off fireworks and shit.
Yeah. It's like, when the priest even looks over like, are you kidding?
And they're like, yeah, he wanted a happy funeral. I'm like, that guy did not seem like the fucker who wanted anyone to be happy on his funeral.
Not the kind of guy that you invite to a party.
Yeah, right? There's no way that guy was like, yeah, really do it up when I die. He's like, really go crazy. There's no way. But yeah, they're going hard.
Yeah, they're celebrating a little too much. They're a little too excited for their father to be dead.
But he does finally die, and it's at the hands, of course, of Joji, who just
switches medication.
Switches meds. That will do it.
But I gotta be honest here. After the father dies, Joji, do your due diligence. If you're gonna murder someone, destroy the evidence sooner.
I know it takes him a while.
What, weeks, months until
He's
he has
not a killer. He's not a genius either.
No, until he has a dream about his father coming out from the pond.
Yeah,
That's when he's like, I should probably
that
dispose
pond
of
that
the
he was
evidence.
fishing in that didn't have any fish.
Or he didn't have anything on the line.
It didn't look good. It did not look good. Yeah,
Looked like he was losing his mind.
it's not a great alibi.
No, it's not.
Yeah, the pond too. That I know that pond had some kind of
Significance.
or some kind of symbolism to it.
Well,
for
yeah,
sure.
symbolism.
Because that was the pond that also killed his dad. That was the one that they were draining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and it did come into play later when that's kind of how they find Joji out.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, he was fishing in a pond with no fuck. So what?
no
You can't
fish.
hang out in a fucking pond and just kind of meditate on it.
Well, and then Joji lied about where he was smoking cigarettes. He said it was down by the canal or whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, why not just say it was down by the pond? You would have had the perfect alibi.
Oh,
You dumbass. But he just couldn't. Joji could not
Instead, he
help
just
but
lied
lie.
and said he never went to the pond.
Yeah.
I've never seen the pond.
That's a little suspicious.
We have a
We have a
pond?
pond? I don't get out of the house much. I'm too busy taking care of my horse.
Yeah, I'm like, come on. He totally plead the fifth instead of being like, yeah, I was at the pond, I had a cigarette, and things got out of hand.
And in some ways, he was really smart with the way that he would kind of construct his stories. And then other ways, he just got lazy.
I know. Well,
like,
he's not a super villain. That's the thing. And that's what I like too. It was a realistic. He didn't just overnight turn into this like this Joker-esque villain where he had everything fucking planned. It was falling apart. And that's what Macbeth is too. Is every murder doubled down, everything gets closer and closer to falling apart.
Right.
And he got closer and closer to losing it, to becoming unhinged, and just pretty much, close to turning himself in because he was going mad thinking about killing his dad. He was having those fucking dreams and whatnot. And then his brother freaking was unraveling the mystery, even though he's drunk half the time. He's still stumbling around.
Somehow still able to figure it out.
Again, the only one who was kind of passionate about keeping his father alive.
Yeah. Oddly enough.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The only one who was, of course, he was probably the favorite. He
Yeah, that makes sense. Looked the most like dad, too.
Exactly. Big old upper
Big old-
body.
Yep.
But yeah, so and eventually, I like that too. They eventually found out how the dad died, or not how the dad, but how Joji killed the father.
Yeah.
But not smart on the brother's part.
No.
Taking him out. He got a pellet to the back of the neck.
Yeah, he did. Got one in the neck and then the back of the skull.
Yeah.
And then got exploded.
Which didn't kill him there.
The gunpowder?
No, the pellets.
Oh, yeah, the pellets didn't kill
He
him.
took 2 bullets, and
Yeah.
then Fahadh Faasil later on takes 1 bullet, and he's fucking dead.
Well, he is a little weaker, a little smaller, a little more frail, I'd say.
Yeah.
Poor Joji.
Yeah, that was blowing the brother up, though.
Yeah. A little
That
excessive.
again, that was another dark comedy bit where I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? I didn't even realize.
Neither did I. I
that
thought
the
it was
guy,
like a tennis ball. Like, what is this? A knitting ball?
Yeah, because he like stumbles up the hill. I'm like, what is it? Why is he go? Where's he going? I thought he was just taking off into the field or something. No, he had to get a little
I
distance.
know, and he's like walking slowly with it.
I guess that guy was building those because those are used to break rocks up in the end. So he was making them, but they're also pretty good at breaking people up.
Yeah.
Because he did a good job and a great toss too.
Crazy they did an autopsy on that, though. I mean, the cause of death.
Honestly,
Explosion.
what's
I mean, there's not much to look
well, they
at.
didn't do an autopsy on the dad.
No, they didn't.
Refused.
No, but they did.
I know.
They did one on Jamal.
What is his autopsy like? Okay, now bring me the torso. I gotta do like this guy's in pieces.
He's just sewing them up. Like, what the fuck?
One little piece at a time.
Yeah.
So the fact that they found 2 pellet guns in this guy is, or 2 pellet bullets is
incredible.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I know for a fact it wasn't the doctor. That was also the lawyer doing the autopsy because there's no way is that guy capable.
He's got too much paperwork over at the offices.
The office
being a
and the
lawyer.
court, the hospital and the
Yeah.
court, yeah. But yeah, I can't believe they did an autopsy on this guy.
I know.
The pellets must have he must have just shook the head. Pellets fell out. But yeah, they ended up finding out, and that's how the collapse happened.
Yep.
We get to it, and I thought that was the whole ending. I thought was really, really well done.
Yeah.
Just
Same.
the last ditch effort of, hey, your wife fucking went with this with me
Pincy
as well.
was with it,
And
yeah.
I'm gonna tell her that all three of us were in this. And the reason I paid you was and it was all this last ditch fucking effort.
Well, and I thought Jason
lowest
was
of
actually
his
going to
character.
side with him because of the 3 locks that he sent his
I thought so
way.
too, yeah.
And I was like, it was kind of crazy when
Because it
Jason's
didn't
like,
look good.
No, it didn't look good at all. And you figure the cops would arrest him. And then Jason says, no, I'm not doing it.
But at that point, I kind of got the sense that everyone is feeling this pressure of, because they were all in on wanting the dad to die, and
Right,
then they're
for sure.
all in on splitting up the territory, and so I think all of them are feeling the fucking guilt at this point.
Well, I think Jason was all in because he goes, hey, Joji, you get locked away. Jamin's dead.
Yeah,
and my
yeah,
father's
that's true
dead,
too.
so
Yeah,
I'm all in. It's all or nothing for me, brother.
yeah, someone's
So
got to run the plantation.
you're going to take the fall for all this.
Yeah.
Because I had nothing to do with it. And my wife, she can go with you, worst case scenario.
Yeah, although it wouldn't look good, but you got a sense that he's just gonna get away with it anyways because it's the circumstance and whatnot. I mean, yeah, it's. But yeah, so that's kind of the end for Joji, the last ditch ever, which is the lowest part of his character. It's kind of like it's kind of a reverse hero's journey, to where this guy started out. Yeah, he was. He was a failure, but he wasn't a murderer. He wasn't embezzling money. And then it gets worse and worse and worse to the lowest fucking point. I don't like that kind of story.
Then he sends a little group message. He says, hey, this
Group
is not a
message
suicide note,
Kind of is.
but I'm blaming society. It's society's fault why I'm like this.
Let
Come
me
on.
tell you.
I'm not taking it. I'm
You
not.
say the word suicide and the blame of society, that's a suicide note, my guy. They
Take
all have the
accountability.
same thing. They all suicide notes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was gonna kill him. He goes gonna shoot himself with the BB gun and kill himself, which sounds like a fucking way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, slow, brutal, painful.
I think
bleed
I
out,
think you'd have to reload a couple times, but a couple more, because I just don't think. But you missed the after credit scene.
I did. I didn't realize there was an after
The
credit
after
scene.
credit scene shows that he shot the pedal gun through his neck.
Oh, no. So he survived.
That's how he killed himself. Yeah, he didn't put the gun on the temple for some reason.
Yeah, I would have went one here and then.
Yeah, so he shoots himself, and it just shoots through his spinal cord, paralyzes him from the neck down.
Oh, dude. So that's a terrible life. That really sucks.
Yeah, and the last scene, which is it was poetic. I don't like after credit scenes, especially for movies like this. Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Like, who's staying after the credits for?
Well, I had no
a
idea.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Like, was it gonna be a second one? Macbeth 2? It's ridiculous.
Joji in prison.
Yeah, paralyzed. Yeah, but it's
laying there the
yeah.
whole
The
film.
very last scene, I'll tell you because you didn't see it. Is it's the cops, like they're around him and they're like, blink if you killed your dad, and it's just him like not blinking.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the
that
last.
sucks. That's like, what if you really got to
Well, they're like blink, but it's the last scene, and it was just to like show like, oh, he never learned his lesson. He's still lying, and he's still gonna get, even though he's paralyzed from the fucking. And it was kind of poetic because he's paralyzed just like his dad was as well.
That's true.
A brutal fucking paralyzed pellet gun, strong fucking pellet gun
Yeah,
though, dude.
seriously. The manufacturer's got to be proud.
Air compressed. That thing was shooting through bodies.
It was. And through trees.
Yeah, why? Yeah, not all the way. It should have
all the
went
way
all the way
through.
through. The way he was going through bodies,
Yeah,
it should have
no
went all the way
kidding.
through that tree. Yeah, it's but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this film
It's
a
definitely
lot.
one of the better Shakespeare adaptations I've seen in a long time.
And again, I always go back to this with Fahadh Faasil, but I feel like every character is completely different. And I really enjoyed this portrayal of Joji. I think he's
Except he does, I feel like he does always play a character that gets in way too deep over his head.
Yes.
That seems to be
true.
like his kind
for sure.
He is
Come
good.
Along
It's-
Nights.
Exactly.
got
It's
over his
always
head.
that.
Trance was
he
over.
does a really good job of like delivering that sense of like dread and paranoia that everything is about to be
exposed.
at any moment, and he gives that certain sense of tension for sure.
Yeah.
That, oh God, this guy is just doubles down every time. There's so many ways he could have came clean earlier on, but every time he just doubled down, and that's kind of his character forte. But yeah, he's fucking great.
He is.
I can't wait to see him in more
I
stuff.
love him. Well, thanks for watching the Fahadh Faasil podcast.
Yeah, Fa Friday.
Fa Friday.
Would you recommend this to people?
Oh, absolutely. Highly recommend. Yes. I love this film. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's not super close to the Macbeth. There's no witches in it, unfortunately. Remember in Macbeth, the witches give him they give him the
Horcrux.
prophecy. No, they give him the prophecy that his uncle's gonna die. Yeah. You couldn't really fit a witch in this one. Unfortunately,
No,
much more
that would have been really weird. I'm glad they
There's 3 witches in
did not have
yeah.
a witch in this. That's for sure.
But yeah, I would recommend it as well. Very good. It's on
Absolutely.
Amazon Prime. Check it out.
Check it out, even though we just spoiled the whole film. All right, well, that is our review for Joji.
Well, it's Macbeth. It's
Yeah,
800 years old.
If you guys like what you see here, please be sure to like this video, smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause, and until next time.
Bye.